welcome back. I want to go over Get Off My Lawn. This is the latest Tubi original that I've seen. So, the one thing I love about this movie is the villain is actually believable, scary. If you have seen my review, my last Tubi original review was on The Divorce Lawyer, and my commentary was basically saying how I just couldn't buy the villain in that movie as scary. I just didn't get that vibe from him. This guy, the guy that played Alec in this movie, he did awesome. Now, I knew he was a psychopath when we first met him, and he was dressed like straight out of, the 1950s, Leave It to Beaver, Andy Griffith show age, right? And we find out that he has this obsession with his grandfather, his late grandfather, and I'm assuming he's dressed like the 50s because I'm thinking his father was probably a young man in the 1950s, so he dresses like that. He sounds very proper, but he is very obsessed with this house. His parents sold this house, and he wants it. And they made a deal. I believe that they would leave some stuff in the house, right? So Taj Mowry, that's actually the reason why I clicked on it, because when I was scrolling on Tubi, I saw him on the poster, the movie poster, and I was like, I have not seen Taj in a while. I said, I gotta check this out because I haven't seen him in a while, right? He did great. I expect that from him. I wish I could actually see more from Taj, but Taj pretty much stays low key and out the way. He just does his thing on the low. Let me know if he's been in anything recently besides this. So he's the main character in this. Him and his wife have this new house, and Alec, the crazy teen, who's obsessed with his granddad and stuff, he's popping up. And here's the thing: I feel like Taj's character was way too nice to him. Okay, met him, welcomed him to the neighborhood, but he comes into the house and sees him there. He sees him fixing stuff, and he sees him messing with the gutters, and it's like he really should have been like, "Look, I understand your folks used to stay here, or your granddad and all that. Don't come in this house anymore because my girlfriend and I live here." Like, he really should have nipped that in the bud immediately, because this Alec guy was just way too comfortable. But he was a very menacing, good kind of creepy villain. Kind of like, if you see, there's a movie called Fear that came out in 1996 with Mark Wahlberg, and he definitely gives me that. I would This movie's a thriller, but I would say there's a lot of comedy aspects to it. Because when it first comes on, we see this realtor lady. She's like super bubbly. She's showing the house. And then once she gets in the house, she turns around and we see these gloved hands choke her, right? Of course, we find out Alec was the one who did it because he's trying to stop any and everybody from getting into this house. So we find out he has a body, and he doesn't really start getting gruesome till like the end. The middle of the movie was kind of like, I guess you could call it pranks, but these are things where somebody could have died. Like when Taj was talking and he put like some weights. It was him, his girlfriend, and his friend. Put some weights on him and then pushed him in the pool. And like he could have drowned and stuff. Now, his girlfriend, Alec's girlfriend, and his friend, I feel like their characters weren't really necessary until the end, when they stopped Alec, or helped stop Alec from killing Taj and his girlfriend. So I found out, and this is kind of like the what's his name, Ryan Coogler did with Sinners, where he actually cast a person who is 1/8 black to play a character as 1/8 black. Now this boy, I call him boy, but he's like 22 in real life, but that's young to me, right? So he's actually part Asian in real life, Because in the movie, his mom is Asian, his dad's white, and when they show a picture of his granddad, it's obviously his mom's dad, right? And but when you look up his last name is clearly an Asian last name. But he is what you would call passing. If you're not familiar with that term, that's basically someone who y'all should be. I don't think I have too many super young people watching this channel, but if you don't know, passing is someone who is mixed race, biracial, and they can basically pass for white. So if you were to see him walking down the street, you wouldn't guess that he had Asian in him. Once you find out, you can look at him and kind of see it, but you don't. He can totally pass for a white guy just automatically. So, like I said, I would call this. I wouldn't call it horror. I would call it thriller comedy because there was a lot of comedy to it. You know what I mean? I've been seeing a lot of that lately. A lot of like horror comedy, thriller comedy mashed together. This is one of these movies that I can see myself watching more than once. I actually watched it, I think, like 3 times. I watched it a second time because I was just trying to catch some stuff that I probably didn't get the first time, but I got this time. I really wanted them to lay more into Alec's father being abusive because when Alec was showing Taj's character, no, Taj looked and saw a scar on him, and he was like, "That's a gnarly scar, man." He was like, "Where did you get that, or what happened?" He was like, "Ask my father." So we see that his father was physically abusive. His mom was kind of weird. She was like happy and just kind of nervous happiness. So I don't know if she was on something. I don't know if she was a little touched. I don't know. But he, if I'm not mistaken, I think he ends up killing his dad, if I'm not mistaken, because his dad and his mom find a realtor lady's body in his closet. He finally defends himself against his dad. This is before that when he pushed him off the ladder, and then he was standing in front of him. "Oh, you slipped," He did great. I really could see him in like some Lifetime thrillers. He has that face where he's handsome, but he can definitely pull off the psychopath threatening look. I can also see him in like a romantic comedy or just a romance movie. I see this guy going far. I looked him up. And he's been in a few things. I haven't seen him, but he's been in a few things. Now, I want to talk about Taj. Taj was looking nice. Okay, Taj is grown. Taj is like a year older than me. So he'll be 40 next year. He looks great. And most of the movie, I'm not going to say most of the movie, but a lot of the movie, he was in his drawers. So we get to see Taj in his drawers. I'm definitely not complaining. I want to see Taj in some more things. I would love to see his sisters in some more things too. I grew up watching Sister. I grew up watching Smart Guy, even though Smart Guy didn't stay on too long. I don't know if it was a channel issue or whatever. So, seeing that we're all in our 30s and 40s now, I would love to see him play those grown-up roles. He did amazing in this. Good job. He brought the comedic aspect to it, but he also was believable with the horror scenes, like when him and his girlfriend were being traumatized by Alec, when Alec finally flipped out and had them tied up, and so yeah. Let me know what you think about Get Off My Grass. And do you agree? Do you feel like the villain in this was believable? Let me know in the comments. Shout out to my 153 subscribers. Shout out to the rest of you as well who are not subscribed, but you can by hitting that button for me. Peace and blessings to you all watching, and until next time.